Whew. Hey, good evening, LinkedIn. Dave Wilson of Results Staffing. Hey, tonight I'm going to talk to you about a great topic real quick. It's a Friday night about reviews and the pros and the cons of it. So we'll be right back right after this. I got it right there. Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Friday night. Don't even know if anybody's watching tonight, but staffing never ends. Trust me. If you want to win, you work nights and days and Saturdays and Sundays. Just putting that out there. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but when you want to make some money, you got to go after that. So, hey, tonight I wanted to talk real quick about. I never discussed about reviews. You know, the pros and the cons of reviews and what it can do for you as your company and ourselves, and even the candidate, how it protects the candidate in a way. You know, there's good things about having negative reviews, and there's positive things about having positive. Common sense, right? And why would you say negative? It's with a small company, it can really hurt negative reviews. It can really hurt them. Some people really look at them, and I look at reviews too, but are they all true? That's what you really have to look at, especially a small business. Really, that's a struggle for them. And what I want to mention to them on Facebook and social media is that there is a setting. Now, I utilize this setting all the time in social media to where you can click on low, medium, or high profanity. Go figure, right? I put it at a high. And then there's keywords that you can block. You can block. Put every word in there that you've ever thought of that you never want to be showing up on screen. Doesn't matter. All your curse words, everything from, it doesn't matter. I'm not even going to go there. And just words that you would never think people would use or utilize. Check out some other people's reviews. That's what I've done. And I pick out those keywords that I don't want to be said on our page. Or, you know, your website's hard. Google is very tough because you can't really block that, but you can. One good thing about a negative review is I've learned, and I've done this, is if you've had a negative one, you can normally, if you respond with a human response, not just some computer generated. I see that and I get it. But when you're talking at your company and you got, you know, if I had 5.0, which I do, but who's saying right now, but really you can't shoot for that 5 stars. Is it nice? Yes. Let's face it. But when you're at 4.9, 4.8, don't always think that you're not going to get negative, because everybody knows you're going to get negative reviews. You better accept it. Somebody at one point is going to just say something that's going to trigger that. But when you get a 5 and a 4.9, then say like a 4.5, then you start going down to a 4, then a 3.9, then you really need to pay attention, because there could be something in there that's maybe happening and you're not paying attention to it. You know, and this could be whether it's from your company that you're staffing for or your own. So if candidates are saying negative things about your client, that's where you want to, especially if it's, you know, you have to use your own judgment. Talk to some colleagues or coworkers. What would you do? You know, your management team, and say, what would you do? You know, because there's no right answer. I'm just saying what I feel my recommendations are, you know, to confront them all if you can, you know, take an hour or two if you have to, or there's that many, but just respond to them. And if you respond with a human response, and in the past, always call. Listen, it doesn't hurt to send an email, or if they don't answer your phone, send an email. Sometimes, if it's just an employee that was really just blowing off some steam, they'll put another review on there and say thank you. It's rare, but it can happen. So if you go after those reviews, negative ones, and the hardest word, I think the hardest word is to say, I'm sorry that you feel this way, or I'm sorry this happened to you, or, let's talk. We've had them come into the branch before, in years experience. They've come in, go back into a room, close the door, and you talk. And you find out, because sometimes, I told you, when your reviews start going down like that, and it's about your client and your company, what do? I believe going, not sugarcoating it just right away. Just don't set it off. Don't sit on it. Listen, I've learned that the stress that it causes behind the scenes of you don't want to talk to your client. Now, if it's something serious about they're saying about the client, you want to get them involved. You have to. Don't overlook that. I mean, use your judgment again, but I would keep them involved. It's something negative because it affects them also when their name is on the social media. But I told you, on social media, block all the words. You can block the company's name. You can just put on there, let's say your former boss or your former boss's name. You can put your name. I've put in people's names on there. I don't want to hear from them. So if it's a John Smith or something, type on there John and then Smith, and those words aren't going to come up on social media. Google, again, they will. So look at that and then make your decision. They are reversible. Reviews can be reversible. There are companies out there on Google that you can pay that they'll remove it. That, I would say, would be a last resort, in my opinion. I mean, the research I've done on it is like, that can be very expensive, but it can be worth it also. I mean, let's face it, somebody just put something bad on there about your company. Wow. What do you do? I mean, I know what it feels like to get a negative review, and it bothers me sometimes. I'm like, but I step back and breathe and then look at it to see whether, does it have any relevance to it? Is it fake? Because if it's fake and you got a constantly person saying things, they can be held accountable also, and that's not far-fetched from that. That can happen. And this is with the bigger companies, but even smaller. If you have somebody that's just a restaurant, just really saying bad things, a couple people, bad, negative. And then you have people saying, I don't know what you're talking about. It's positive. Weigh it and then put something on there about the restaurant that you like, saying there's no way that we always had great service. You can reverse it and make it sound good. One of the things that I talked about, like on social media, is certain words and everything. And the top sites that give reviews, get this, from Alexa. I better watch, Alexa's over there. Google My Business, Amazon, Facebook, and Yelp. They're the top reviews, or people leave reviews at. I mean, to go bigger with Amazon, right? I do write reviews for Amazon. I do if the product's really well. I've never really, I believe in the professional setting, professionals, and I don't go back, and I don't think some people do either. If you go back and put a bad review about the company, your prior boss, or your prior company itself, right? It's not really worth it. I mean, if you're upset, wait a while. You're really not, you don't want to burn those bridges, because that's the company that, if you did something wrong, then, well, you did it. But if you didn't, it's not worth it. Have I ever wanted to do it? Whew. But if you get let go, or, something's not right, just tit for tat. That's what my wife calls it, tit for tat. Dave, get over it. It's the truth. It just takes all the stress out of you. And why do I want to say something about a company when it was like one person? The company had nothing to do with it. It was just one bad boss or one, bad employee or anything. It's not the company. If it was the company, not many people would be working there or saying it. But what I've learned in the past is videos. When you post images on social media or LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn doesn't really give that too many bad reviews. I would say the majority of the professionals on there you'll get your negative people on there. I think they just love getting some people irritated. But on social media, when you're doing videos. Like this right now is going on social media also. I've learned to take it off sometimes of different channels because you want to know, or social media platforms, you want to know your audience. Like this here, I'm talking, this is LinkedIn. Now, sometimes I just put LinkedIn and YouTube for the link. I don't put social media because there's no, why would somebody want to listen to me talk about staffing and reviews? Unless it's like business owners, and it might work for you. It all depends. Get to know your audience. When you're doing videos like I'm doing now, like you have the control. So through the years, oh wow, of using this phone and doing live videos, some things pop up and you're like, whoo, it'll throw you right off guard. If something negative, one of the candidates on your Facebook page or for your business, I've encountered that. I've encountered people from the past. Listen, you might not think you made somebody angry, but when you're doing a video and your name pops up and you go live, you're fair game. So I'm just saying you're fair game, but you learn. So what you do is when you're talking like this, if somebody said in the comments over here, Dave, you're full of it or something like that, negative, I can remove him and just immediately remove him. Or I don't engage anymore. I do not engage unless it's a positive. Now, if it's something where we're just discussing in an agree, like we're just having a one-on-one and I would defend myself, I would usually say like respectively, I don't agree with this, but we all have opinions. But I don't engage to where you want to get angry or you don't want to show somebody because you're representing your company. And if you see myself getting all irritated, which I did in the past, but you want to set the tone. You want to set it. It's okay. Let them just bump them off. It won't bother you again. Can they get back on? Some ways, yes. But social media, you can just block them all. Name, everything, every single thing about that person. I don't care. Just put those words. A lot of people don't realize that. Just go into your settings. If you're in marketing, go into the settings. That's a very important thing. That's the first thing that I always check when I look at people's Facebook pages is the settings. If you don't understand them, facebookblueprint.com. Blueprint.com. It's all free and it'll show you. Just Google it. You can YouTube it and you'll see how to set them. It's very important, especially like I said in the videos. Don't engage. Don't look at it. If they only say one word, just let it go. But if they start engaging, take them off. The other thing, all right. Oh, I talked about that one already. Wow. Okay. Wow, I talked about that. Don't give in the facts. All right, so check the facts. So what I wanted to also say is, let's just say, assume you're in the staffing and somebody's continually saying something on your Facebook page about the client. And I talked about that. So what do? Do you go to the company? And again, go to the HR director. An HR director is not that scary. Well, they are, because you never get called into HR saying, hey, Dave, you're doing a good job. I don't think anybody, listen, I'm 54. And if I'm saying HR's calling me, I get scared, man. I'm like, oh, Jesus, what do I do now? Because they're not saying, Dave, come on in here. You're doing a great job. We're going to give you a review and a raise. Yeah, right. It's always about questions. And I get that. But HR, listen, if they're a professional, they're trained, a good HR department. I cherish that. I can tell. And if you've been in the business long enough, you can really, see how your HR department is. And I like when they're strict, but I also like when they're friendly. A good HR director will come out, and talk with candidates, employees, but they don't have any time. They're HR directors and staffing people. So they're responsible for staffing. So soon they're going to be responsible for everything. But seriously, an HR director should be on the floor. Hey, Bill, I got one. Hey, I'm on that great subject, Bill, of reviews and the pros and cons of reviews. I got to ask you, Bill, do you leave reviews on companies? Just asking you that, and do you feel that leaving a negative review is a positive thing? That's what I'm trying to discuss tonight. So reach out to that HR director and say, listen, I think something's going on. Look at our reviews. Your company keeps coming up and Now I'll block the company's names. I have to. That's what I do. And I recommend that you just take your client's name sometimes, because it depends again on your audience. If your audience depends on what you're staffing for versus, You understand what I'm saying. It's just be careful. So you want to explain to them why. Let's see. Thank you. I was just saying that, Bill. It's a hard question to answer when it comes to business, I was saying, because if I was to leave a company like I did, and if I was really irritated, listen, there was some times that I wanted to go online there and I wanted to leave a review, but it was about one person. It wasn't about the company. And my wife would always say tit for tat, like I was saying to him. But you got to let it go. It depends. But I was just saying, if you see a trend, if you see it going, like I said, 5, 4.9, 4.5, 3.0, then you have to get involved. It's something's going on, and I had to leave that for him. I know he's probably sitting there saying the same thing. And a lot of this discussion here, some people don't want to have. They don't want to talk about it, in the staffing industry. And I get that because are you going to get in trouble? There's all different things that can go through your mind, and you're right now, like I said, a lot of people, that was one of the things with COVID, you're stressed. You got to show empathy and you got to understand. And social media is a soft target. Now, you just notice I said target. Now, that is one word that I would put in. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you say something like a word that's something similar, I would ban that word, because that can really do it. I agree. I hate to be negative. It does. I think you just got to walk away. You just got to breathe, relax, and think about it. What's it going to get you at the end of the day? What is it going to get you? And that's a good point there. What is it going to get you when you post that negative review about the company that you worked for 10 years? You think it's going to stay there, but we all like positive reviews. We'll always look at them, but but social media is a soft target. Take that word off, target, because like I said, that's just not a word that you want to really utilize. But as a professional, as on LinkedIn here, as management and ideas to discuss are things like this that you can take that off, so it doesn't really just ruin your reputation and have some wise people saying those things. If you're not in the mood for doing videos or doing ads, if you're not in the mood, don't do them. Trust me. There's times where I wish I did not do an interview or a show because I was upset. I've gone off sometimes and negative. Now, if I believe in it, if I'm passionate about it, that I really know the facts, then I'll step up to the plate. But you have to sometimes, I've gone back and deleted videos. I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to get rid of that thing, because I don't want someone watching it putting on our reviews of saying, this guy's a nut or something like that, or he's crazy, he gets angry, he tells the truth, but they're the kind of things that can go against you. So the reason I say doing the videos is, Bill knows from plenty of times on the show, is it shows your personal self. It shows you. So if I was online and if I was doing for our company and I was like, wow, I had some bad reviews, I had this happening, but I would give an explanation, what I do to fix it. Even if it's somebody that's tit for tat, call them, email, see if you can get some response. That normally will take care of it and stop it. So, again, don't do the videos when you're upset. The images, if you're writing ads, like today, I didn't feel like doing ads. I just didn't have it. I couldn't come up with some good ideas. It just wasn't working. Let's see. Sometimes you have to pause and think. You said it right there, because you do, even with ads, because it's not just videos, but ads, I always go by, my philosophy has been like, show them the pain, but then show them a solution. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, if you show a nurse that's down with their head and that image that you can all relate to, the pain points, like if you have pain points and you're showing an image of that, your caption, it gets their eyes. But show a solution underneath it about being short staffed. What have you done? But then show some ideas and some value behind that. Because if you show the value, they're going to remember that. But it gets them to the point. And when I say show them the pain, I'm like, whoa, I think that's the wrong wording to use, but show them the solution. And that's he's correct right there. Pause, think before you post or do a video. Whew, let's see. I already talked about doing the clients, transparent about allegations and the company policies. That's another thing. If somebody's saying about your company policy, that you want to pay real attention to. And I'm not saying not to with all the other ones. This is the last subject here. Really look when it comes to a policy, because that's something that stands out when I was doing some research on it. And that was one of the things there is, if it's like safety, let's say if somebody puts on there about, wow, this company is not safe. This company doesn't protect us from COVID. This company doesn't do this. That people read those and they'll be like, whoa, but it's how you respond to it, right? And that's why I've told companies, listen, you know me by now, a lot of people, is the video, again, if you had your company doing videos of how you're doing the COVID test. I've seen some great ones today on LinkedIn, some of the companies, staffing companies, when they were walking right in, have the temperature control, boom, and, you know, making sure they're masked, social distance, everything that you're supposed to, people cleaning extra constantly. You want to show that on your video, because that takes away the person's response. You know, that's just an upset person. But like safety, that's a big word. And you don't want somebody to say that my company's unsafe. That's the first, that's safety to us is number one. I don't care. Anything else does not matter about does not matter. It's safety. We want you to come to work and go home the same way as you came in. And I've been hearing some good things about video resumes. Companies are beginning to appreciate them. And Bill's right there. There again is video's very powerful. You can really not judge. I don't want to say you want to judge a person, but you can see what and understand the person. And do you trust? Do you believe? Is he honest or she? You know, there's a lot of different things that can come across. And Bill's been on the show a couple of times, and his daughter did a video resume screening. And again, we'll do that on another show again. But that's that's a good strong point. So, Bill, I want to thank you. It looks like it was just us tonight that responded. I'm going to say, where's Tuvia? Where was he? So Bill's out in Pittsburgh. Listen, he's a great colleague you want to connect with. He's always open to help anybody. Bill Bradford there. Check him out on LinkedIn. And he's very well, good colleague. So on that note, everybody, it's a Friday night, and I'm only working. So we will end it with this, and we'll talk to you real soon.